Fair division, the computer scientist's perspective. In a world facing increasing economic, societal and environmental pressures, fair division is a pressing problem. How can we do more with less? There are many examples of fair division problems. How do we fairly and efficiently allocate organs to patients, pupils to schools, doctors to hospitals, or reviewers to papers? There are many new markets enabled by technology where we need to solve fair division problems. How, for instance, do we fairly allocate radio spectrum between different companies, or delivery costs in a complex supply network? Now, fair division is an ancient problem. In fact, fair division appears in ancient Babylonian law nearly 4,000 years ago. The academic study of fair division, however, is much more recent and can be traced back to just after the end of the Second World War, when mathematicians and economists started to think about this problem. In the last 2 decades, however, computer scientists have started to consider fair division from a fresh computational perspective. In this paper, I argue that in addition to asking computational questions like how do we compute fair and efficient solutions, we can also usefully bring to bear the full range of tools from the computer scientist's toolbox to such problems. Tools from knowledge representation, tools from computational complexity, approximation tools to deal with computational intractability, tools from game theory to deal with strategic behaviors, and all the other tools in the computer scientist's toolbox, such as asymptotic analysis and communication complexity. Now, I consider the fair division of indivisible goods, but it could have easily just been a study of the fair division of divisible goods. There are a variety of natural computational questions. First, for example, how do we compactly represent and reason about the exponential preferences agents have over the power set of all possible subsets of goods? This is a classic knowledge representation problem. Second, how do we find fair solutions? There are a number of different notions of fairness. One of the most fundamental notions is envy-freeness. Can we find a division of goods where no agent envies another's bundle? Unfortunately, even in very restricted settings, finding fair solutions is computationally intractable. For instance, finding a fair and efficient solution with just 2 agents with identical, monotonic, and dichotomous preferences remains NP hard. Now, a standard response to deal with such intractability is to consider approximations that might be easier to achieve. For instance, there's a simple approximation of envy-freeness. Envy-freeness up to 1 good. This says that no agent envies another if we throw away 1 good. Pleasingly, we can find a solution always that's envy-free up to 1 good in linear time. We also consider strategic questions. Consider, for example, how players are drafted in the NFL. The teams simply take turns to pick the best remaining player. Now, teams can be strategic. If their most preferred player is someone that the other teams don't particularly like, they can strategically not pick this player in the first round and use their first turn strategically to pick some other player who they would otherwise miss. Over 40 years ago, mathematicians asked, how do we compute optimal strategic play in such a game faster than considering the exponential number of branches in the game tree? And computer science has recently answered that question. In general, we can't. Computing strategic play is p-space hard. But special cases such as 2 agents and additive utilities can be computed efficiently. Indeed, we've shown optimal play can be computed in linear time simply by playing the game in reverse using the inverse preferences. There's still much to be done. There are many open questions, and we've only just started to crack open the computer science toolbox. For example, there are a number of papers in the last few years applying ideas from fixed parameter tractability to this domain. In the meantime, I encourage you to read the paper. You can find it at tinyurl.com/fair division survey. Thank you.